Well, I don't give a shit. Because if people don't like me because of the way I talk or think, that's their business. See what I'm saying? That's their business. Like, it's your business. I ain't mad at you if you don't like me. I don't give a fuck. Like, you know, it's your business. It's not my business. The question is why do people care? Well, I'll tell you why. Because they need your validation. They want you to like me because they don't like themselves. So they're looking for everybody else to validate their value. Am I cool? Am I good? You like me?
Did I make it?
Am I right? Huh? You know, I don't do that.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
See, I don't know about y'all, but like for real, I don't mind being talked about. My problem come in when they start making stuff up. So you can talk about me all you want. It is what it is. You know, it's either I did it or I didn't. I said it or I didn't. Whatever the case is, I don't care. I let whoever think whatever, feel whatever. That's on them. You know what I'm saying? But it's the making up part. It's the lying part. It's the adding on to part that always get me. I don't mind being talked about. It's when y'all start lying that bothers me. Three places that you can stay for absolutely free. 3 of them. You ain't got to play a doggone thing. Hear me. Understand that you can stay out my face for free. You can stay out my business for free. And you can stay out my way for free. Those things won't cost you a doggone thing. 3 places you can stay for absolutely free. Thank you.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Well, good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. This is going to be a short live. Here's why. It's Friday. Many of you guys know I was in Savannah, Georgia on my best friend's 60th birthday. I was supposed to come back for a day, and everything was just going completely berserk out there in Savannah, Georgia. So it's like, I got to do something before my best friend disowns me. So I'm taking her out. Today is her day. And I'm going to be going out there here in just a little bit. So this is going to be a very short live. And we got to start discussing another case that I went on prior to Quinton Simon, which was, they said that they nicknamed him Monkey. Well, before Quinton Simon, I went out to Michael Monkey Vaughn. He was named Monkey as well. Totally different scenarios with the family, different situations. Both had boys that disappeared literally from their home. And the differences between one family to another is astounding. And I got to tell you, Brandi was absolutely terrified of meeting me. Terrified. She didn't know what to think. The first time I met her, I actually went up there. I didn't have an electronic on my body. Like I didn't, I wanted to make sure she knew when I was coming up there, it wasn't to catch her in any, conversation or comment or anything like that. It was just seriously to let her know that we were there to help look for her son, which we did. We searched for him. We asked neighbors questions. We tried to find the pilot that still has been unidentified, the gentleman that still has been unidentified. We found a really weird trail that left from the splash pad. I'm working on videos, but as many of you guys know, this case, the Quinton Simon case, rocked my boat. It literally rocked my boat. Lots of twists and turns in that case, a lot of stuff that I wasn't anticipating. So I'm starting to prepare videos, but it's been so long. I want to get his face out. I really do. So let me see if I can pop this up. This is probably just a quick, give me just a second. Okay, here we go. And of course it's backwards because I flipped these things backwards and I didn't flip this one, but I wanted to, oops, wrong one. I wanted to show you guys a little bit about what we did up there in Idaho. And this was a trip that we took right before this breaking case with Quinton Simon. And I just wanted you guys to watch it again.
Hey guys, so Bullhorn Betty here, out in front of Ontario Police Department, out here coming to Idaho so we can look for Michael Monkey Vaughn. He's been missing since July 27th, 2021. And as part of our due diligence and fact-finding process, when we come to any town to look for a missing person, is always visit law enforcement. One, to let them know that we're in town. Two, to find out.
That was the one thing we didn't do in Savannah, Georgia, by the way. Usually I'm more courteous. This all started off on the wrong foot in Savannah, Georgia. I can promise you that. Savannah, Georgia, we kind of kicked the front door in and said, hi, we're here. Because it was, again, it was unintentional when we did it. It was truly unintentional. This child was missing. And all I'm thinking about is this mother has already been caught in a lie because I had just found out she tried to blame it on Bubba Moss. And he didn't have this child, hadn't seen this child in 6 months. I found that out sitting right here in Florida, right? So when we went into Chatham County, it wasn't intended. We weren't intending to kick the front door in and say, hey, here we are. It was truly to go out there. I just did not have the time to do the necessary work that I should have done, and reached out to law enforcement to let them know that we're coming in. Again, I'm kind of glad I didn't do that at this point, because this police chief, I don't think I would have been able to really see what was going on behind the scenes had I done it. I believe things happen for a reason. Everybody knows that. We talk about that. We scream about that on this channel all the time, that things happen for a reason. This is no different. So the reason why I've got this up here is because, again, this is a case that we covered. This is a missing boy. This child here is a much different scenario than Quinton Simon. This child is potentially still alive and abducted, and we need to get his face out. You see that little face right there? Beautiful boy, beautiful boy. I got a chance to meet his mother again. She was terrified of meeting me, but she still met me, right? You guys know my street name. You guys know how I'm identified out here on the streets of YouTube. So when I deal with these people that really have nothing to lose, they just want any kind of help that they can get, and they know that I go after bad people. So if you get on my good side, there's a reason. And I feel very, very horribly for this family about what happened. And I truly believe that whatever happened to Michael is closer than people think. It would not surprise me if we find out it's one of these neighbors in this community, or it's associated with the white pilot that has not been identified. We're hearing that there are some people, some neighbors not compliant and actually lawyering up. That's very concerning for me, because this is a child that's been missing over a year, and you have done shit to help, and you're screaming you need representation. Why? You know, I don't care if you're a meth addict or cooking meth in your home. They're not the drug police. They're the missing person and homicide and criminal investigation police. They don't care about your drugs. They're there to find a little boy that's missing, that's been missing for a year, that his mom is sick trying to find what happened to her baby boy. So just FYI, there's the differences.
Thing about the people, primarily the parents, grandparents, other people that have come in contact with the missing. We try to get some background information, just find out, have they been arrested? Has there been any incidences where they've been involved? If so, what are those incidences? This is kind of to give us a broader picture of what is going on that we, as the public, don't know about the people in and around a missing person, primarily a missing child. So a great resource that we have is coming to law enforcement and asking for background information. We as citizens, we as taxpayers are allowed to have access to public records. Arrest records are public records. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to see everything. I'm going to try to request everything, see what the process is in recording it. Will I get the information today? I'm unsure if I will get the information today. What I can tell you is we're going to come in here. We're going to be looking for any criminal records or incidences that involve Brandi Neal, Robert Tyler Vaughn Jr. and Sr., Jennifer Hanna, Richard Hanna. I do want information. Brandi did vouch for Misty and Clay Huffstutler, I believe Huffstutler. So Misty and Clayton Huffstutler. And I want to make sure, just see if they have a background here. Because from my understanding, all these people that are in and around Michael Monkey Vaughn, with the exception of, I believe, Brandi Neal, all were living in Ontario, Oregon, which is just about a 7 or 8 minute drive from Fruitland, Idaho. So it's just right over the border. So again, we're here in front of the City Hall. Police department.
And I just want to let you guys know, we were in Oregon quite a bit. If anybody knows anything about Dolly Vision, it is illegal for marijuana in Idaho. It is legal in Oregon. And Oregon is literally 7 minutes away. So I can't tell you. Mind you, I'm not a smoker. I smoke my vape. I can take my vape literally anywhere. I don't have to worry about what border I'm on. But the trips back and forth between the Oregon border and the Idaho border were great. There was a lot of trips. But we were sitting in Oregon, and as you see, Dolly's nowhere near me. Where is Dolly? No. Oh shoot, I don't know where I was. Let's just start. Sorry about that.
Brandi, Neal, Robert Tyler Vaughn Jr. and Sr., Jennifer Hanna, Richard Hanna. I do want information. Brandi did vouch for Misty and Clay Huffstutler, I believe Huffstutler. So Misty and Clayton Huffstutler. And I want to make sure, just see if they have a background here. Because from my understanding, all these people that are in and around Michael Monkey Vaughn, with the exception of, I believe, Brandi, Neal, all were living in Ontario, Oregon, which is just about a 7 or 8 minute drive from Fruitland, Idaho. So it's just right over the border. So again, we're here in front of the City Hall, Police Department, and Fire Department, which is all in one here. And we're just going to go in there, find out what the process is to get some public records on some of the people that we've identified near the family. Because in these things, we do the circle, the circumference from the missing outward. And so we have to, look into these things to do our due diligence. Not necessarily that we believe anybody had any involvement in this that may be in and around them. Well, we don't know what clues we're going to find until we look for them. So God bless you. We're here. I'm going to be requesting these records. I'll follow up and let you know how it worked out.
So there again, it's just one video. This is stuff that nobody has seen. I think what the most heartbreaking is, and again, I'm going to put these in videos. We're going to do something a lot better. But this is a case that's really been gnawing at me. This is a case that, has it gnaws at me because this poor family. We went out to help, and we have not even really been able to help other than look, get some interviews and put some signs and banners up. I mean, that's really what we did out there. So we definitely want to do more for this family. And, then of course, Kylie Rodney kind of took the news cycle, and then right after that, Quinton Simon. So I'm just now getting an opportunity to circle back. And I probably should have brought this up sooner, but when we did have, 3,000-4,000 people in our chat, I did pull out a missing person flyer because all my missing person flyers for these people, these victims, are in my car. Like I ride around with them because I never know. Hey, Crime Stories Obsessed. Hi, Emma. Nice to see you, babe. I never really had an opportunity to remove them, nor do I, because I never know when I need to pull one out and put it up in a camera. So I keep those with me all the time. And Michael Monkey Vaughn was in my car. So I was able to pull his flyer out and talk about him with 5,000 or 4,000, 3,000 or 4,000 people in the chat room. And it was nice to finally be able to advocate for Michael Monkey Vaughn. Totally different situation. This is a boy that was loved by his family. No history of abuse, no history of drugs. It sounded like mom and dad were both working. They were trying to make it work. They were having weird schedules so they could, somebody could be home with the children during, this time. FBI found missing boy 2,000 miles from home. The FBI found a missing boy 2,000 miles from home. Wow. I would like to know which one that is. But yeah, this is possible. This is one where they didn't come right out at the very beginning and say they thought this boy was abducted. But after their investigation, they came out later. I want to say like 200 days later. It was like a significant amount of time later, and said that it was most likely that this child was abducted. And why did they come to that determination? Because the parent. Well, first of all, people are trying to say Brandi had something to do with it. Let's just get this out of the way with Brandi. Brandi was at work. And she was at work, like her daughter and her kid. One of her kids were in a room, locked in a room, playing probably video games or God knows what else. And her daughter was out of the house. And people are trying to go out and attack Brandi, saying she knows something that happened. No, she doesn't. Wow, Bullhorn Betty, how do you know that? You weren't there. You're right, but I got my ass there. and I ask questions to people that could answer them. You know, that's what you should be doing. I mean, going on Google and doing your research does not work. I don't know how many times I can tell people that. It does not work. You're taking somebody else's views. You're taking somebody else's opinion and trying to make them yours without doing the first bit of due diligence necessary. But here's the interview. This is the Bombshell interview with Brandi herself. Again, when I first met her, I got to tell you, she was terrified. She didn't know whether I was going to start protesting in front of her house, what I was going to do. But I told everybody when I went out there, and that's what everybody tries to lie about when it comes to me. I tell you what I'm going to do. I do what I say I'm going to do. So, for example, when we set up the candlelight vigil for Summer Wells for her 1 year milestone, people came out, oh, Bullhorn Betty, she's trying to do underhand stuff. She's going to have a protest out there. No, I'm not. Why am I spending stuff for candles and cakes and tents and getting all this, sound equipment out there if I'm planning on protesting? Why am I buying lanterns and glow sticks and things like that for a protest? When have I ever done that for a protest before? What did I bring for a protest? I brought signs and a bullhorn. I wasn't collecting money for balloons, glow sticks, candles, you know. When I went out to Brandi's, I said, I'm going out there on a fact-finding mission. Everybody reached out to this poor lady and said, oh, Bullhorn Betty's coming there. She's going to be protesting in front of your house. No, I'm not. When I tell you I'm going out there for a fact-finding mission, guess what? I'm going out there for a fact-finding mission. What did I say with Quinton Simon? I need to get out there. I'm so pissed off. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to silently be protesting or if I'm going to grab my bullhorn and protest. Guess what? I did exactly what I said I was going to do. So this idea that I come here and lie to my audience or tell you guys or manipulate you guys in some way, that is not true. Is this live? Maria Brown, I am live right now. The videos I'm showing, however, happened back in September. We're in November. So almost 60 days ago, 45 days ago, this was out here. So I want you guys to listen to another. And again, this is all going to go into a video. I'm working on it. My time is valuable. It doesn't last as long as I'd like it to last, right? That's the way it is. So the person, so it was JoJo Morales, missing from Florida. Wow. Was that Momo? I'm curious. I'm watching the chat. You know, now that the chat is under control, thank God. Right. And it's going to stay under control because I'm not going to be going on a long live today. This is just to discuss really this case and kind of marry these two monkeys together and explain the differences between one monkey family and the other monkey family, right? And I think this is a great tribute. This is a woman that was absolutely terrified of me. She didn't know what my motives were. She didn't know if I was coming into town to sneakily try to blame the family for this child's disappearance, if I was going to be open-minded. She didn't care. Brandi didn't give a shit. She was willing to meet with me if I could help. She didn't care that I may have had an opinion of her. She didn't care that I may be bringing a bullhorn. She didn't care I may be trying to be underhanded and sneaky and stuff like that. She didn't care. She still met with me and still handed me a box of freaking flyers to help hang up. That is the difference, folks. That is the difference between a guilty family and a not guilty family. She didn't come out there and say F you, BHB. She didn't come out there, you F and B, you C, let me steal your signs. No, nothing like that. And even when I walked up to her the first time, you could see her hands shaking. She was terrified. I spent a few moments with her and she calmed right down. Because I'm not there to attack a family. I'm there to help a family. When you do wrong and you lie about it, you might get under my skin a little bit. You might meet the bullhorn. Yeah, maybe. Right? Even with these yahoos in Savannah, Georgia, How many weeks was it before the bullhorn ever even surfaced out of the car? Or put up to Bullhorn Betty's lips? Maybe that should be it, because it did surface like day 3 or 4 when baby Bullhorn got a hold of the bullhorn, okay? But me, it was weeks. It was literally weeks. And that's the name of the game. Weeks. So let me show you this. This is my interview with Brandi. And again, sweet lady, terrified of meeting me. She met with me anyways, because at the end of the day, whatever she could do to help her son, she was willing to do. Anything that derives any information whatsoever related to her son, she was willing to do. Even if it meant meeting a YouTuber that doesn't mind pulling literally out every single stop imaginable for a victim. And she said that. And they can't make this stuff up. She said that herself. So let's talk about Brandi and her interview and her story, because this was a little different. We already heard, the timeline. We've heard it. It's been regurgitated and parroted over and over and over and over and again. Nobody's asking her, what is this doing to her? Let's find out.
I love that color. I know. Well, I wasn't expecting it to be so cold because everybody told me it was going to be hot out here, and I brought this for the airport, and it's just. Yeah, I know just not usually cold. Like it's usually never. Yeah, and it was crazy because. And
you guys are getting the raw footage. It's not going to be this way when it's put in a beautiful video.
I brought shorts, mostly shorts. I'm glad I got a few pants. You got the last clean outfit. So, anyways, sorry, we're putting in a new fence. Okay, good. That's good to know. So, Bullhorn Betty here. I am with Brandi Neal, Michael Monkey Vaughn's mom, and we're just going to go through a lot of just a few things here with her. We're not going to go into a lot of details related to the case because I just feel that it's been asked and answered. So for our audience today, we're going to be discussing Brandi, her family, the effects that this has had, the nastiness of YouTube that can take something that's already horrific and turn it into something even.
I just want to point out something before I go. Okay, I'm sorry. It's a great interview. I got to be honest. It's a great interview. But I got to point out something. You see this right here? That is my lucky MGL pin. She does not believe it. I got that from her in Rogersville, Tennessee. I think it was our first trip. She had it, and I'm like, I want an MGL pin. She's like, here, take it. I'm like, really? I don't want to take your last one. She's like, I got a lot of them. She's like, I got plenty of pins. Take this one. Take this one. And even throughout all of our little public spat and whatever on here. Now, mind you guys, I just want to say this, okay? MGL, I love you to death. But we didn't kick you out of Hills on the Ground, okay? Unless we're together, it doesn't exist, right? So we didn't kick you out. Nobody was in it. We were all out. But even through all this spat and stuff, that was my lucky pin. So I take it literally with me on every single case. Many people don't know that, but see, MGL, see where she is. She's right next to my heart. Okay, guys. So make sure when you guys go over there, let her know. The Bullhorn Betty, she gets. I get her lucky charm everywhere I go. Any of these cases. Now, if I lose that pin, I'm going to be devastated, and I'll have to have her give me another one. But the one pin she gave me over a year ago is still with me and goes on just about every single one of my trips. So, anyways, let me get back here. Sorry.
So, Brandi, I know that this is very hard for you to do. I know. I want to thank you for meeting with me first and foremost, because I know people probably have said some terrible things, but I'm truly here to help Michael, and I'm truly here to help your family. And the stuff that we found out, it implies that there was an abduction here. Something happened to Michael, and you have, I read this stuff online. I see this stuff that's been said about you, your family. I've met you. Met your father-in-law, or even met your little daughter. You guys just seem like a wonderful family. How's this affected
we'll start with you, and then we'll broaden it.
I lost about 50 pounds.
Lack of sleep, lack of food, just no appetite.
No appetite. I don't sleep much. It's hard to work. It's hard to let my other children be kids. Just to go to the park to play or go to their friend's house. And you are hyper vigilant as a parent, anyways. But now it's
Steroids?
yeah.
Times 100?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't want to let them go anywhere. I didn't even want to let them go to school. It was very hard to let my daughter go on a trip. My oldest daughter.
How many times did you call her while she was gone?
Every day. And probably 2 or 3 times a day. And my sister would call me as well. She's okay.
So, and we've got several children here. I mean, you've got a younger set of children. You got Michael. You got his little sister, and then you've got an older set of kids that are, more social media involved than, say, your younger daughter. How is this affecting your older son and older daughter?
My older daughter is affected a lot, especially being in school. That's where they see things online, other students or parents seeing things online, and kids overhearing it. Blue had seen something online that was here actually. I'm never going to cry so hard. Just the awful things that were being said about parents.
Because, I mean, you guys are already dealing with so much. I mean, you've got a young child that's missing. So no parent, unless they've been in your shoes, will understand that pain, the anxiety, the emotions that come along with that. And then it's like you reach out to people that can help you, somebody that can really get Michael's face out there, such as YouTube and other social media platforms. And then you have people that overanalyze, and I'm guilty of doing some of it myself, overanalyzing every little thing and making up our own thoughts as to why these are happening. And that is now affecting your family because these are negative things that are untrue, are not factual, and that are designed just to inflict pain on a family that's already suffering, in my opinion. Is that how you're feeling about this? What are your feelings about all of this? We have a lot of people that support you, that believe in you, that are really trying to help find Monkey. But then there's that element that is not, and that's got to be.
I just don't understand it. I don't understand how. I understand being objective. I understand the statistics. Excuse me. I understand that.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot of cruel in this world.
Yes, you see it every day.
Yes.
I'm sure you're probably starting to see it while you're on.
But it's not the case here. And it's devastating to a family that's already hurting. We're already hurting.
What do you think? I personally think it's counterproductive. This is taking away from Michael's case. This inflaming and gaslighting of certain aspects is really, in my opinion, taking away from Michael Vaughn's case. How can we as a community, a responsible community, the ones that want to be responsible on YouTube and other social media platforms, to help Michael Monkey Vaughn, what would be your best advice for us to be able to help you and other victims that are in this situation where they're not responsible for the disappearance of their child? I mean, at the end of the day, you were at work. I mean, there's just, and a lot of the stuff has been aimed at you, and you have literally.
It's because I keep talking.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, and you, for the record, where were you at the time your son disappeared?
I was at work.
Okay, so it's
been vetted by police, it's
right,
been vetted
and
by
it's
the
been
FBI.
and they've actually the police have actually come out and told the public this, and the public still isn't listening. So what can we do as a community to help you and Michael?
Listen to law enforcement. Law enforcement is key. And just let them know somebody has seen something, somebody.
And this is going to be a hard question, and I'm very sorry I have to ask you this. Moms have an internal instinct. I think us as siblings almost have an internal instinct about siblings. I remember one time my sister was hurt, and I was driving with my father, and I'm like, something's wrong with me. I don't know where it came from. Something's wrong with my sister. And he looks at me, and so we started calling. I thought she was in a wreck, and this is an internal thing. I don't know where it came from. Do you, again, sorry, do you feel that he's still alive?
I know.
Yeah. So we're hopeful, we're moving forward, we're going to try to advocate for Michael's safe return. This is a lovely community, it's a lovely home. You guys seem like really nice people. Your neighbors are really nice people. I spoke to a lady, and I just want to say this for the record. Yesterday we were canvassing the neighborhood. You knew about that. And, we're out here talking to your neighbors. We actually ran across one lady that saw you over at the splash pad.
She was the one that was.
She may have very well been. She said, I didn't see anybody else. She said, I thought she was looking for a dog. And I was thinking, damn, she's really looking for that dog. And she said she realized very shortly after that it wasn't a dog you were looking for. It was your son. And she said, the look on your face, the fear in your eyes, the terror that was just present. She knew it was something very, very serious. So, and we've got her on record with saying. So, I can't imagine what you've been going through. Like, I'm literally getting goosebumps, like, talking about it. But, so there's a lot of stuff that people on YouTube aren't seeing. They're not getting. They don't understand. They're hearing from this person and that person, but not from somebody that's right here, right now, that is looking at all this stuff. So that's really it. I want the best for you and your family. I really, I want the best for Michael. I'm just hoping that he, it's a mom that lost her kid, or, you're thinking of the positive, like somebody overly taking care of the child. You don't want to think of the bad that could be going on. And we just want to bring him home so
it's hard at night not to let your brain to do that, but excuse me. I believe he's taking care of himself or somewhere. I can't imagine what's going through.
So I do know that some people were saying that they were having some technical, hearing stuff. She talks very low. So that's going to be the hard part about the videos that I put together, is that I'm going to have to figure something out to do with the audio. We didn't have the wireless mics when we were giving the interview. The volume was low. I have a way to amplify the volume. I'm going to try to reduce some of that noise outside. It was, the hindsight is we probably should have done the interview inside as opposed to outside, but we didn't. But again, this is just not, this is the difference between a family that's really trying to seek answers and trying to find their loved one, and a family that's not. We've watched weeks of Quinton's family not search for him. I can tell you, when we went to Fruitland, Idaho, now mind you, Michael Vaughn had been missing for over a year. There is still plastered all over Fruitland, Idaho, and into Ontario, his photo. When we went out there to put photos up on those poles, we were just putting fresher photos up. Every pole just about had his photo on it. And this is a family that has gone out of their way. And trust me, I'm pretty sure law enforcement told them not to search as well, you know, but you didn't see them stop Brandi or her family. You didn't see her stop getting search parties together. You didn't see her stop going in front of the camera. You didn't see her hiding away from the tough questions. You know, she has been through the ringer, literally the ringer, over her son's disappearance. Because at the end of the day, the statistics, she's right. She's talked about it. The statistics are not good, because at the end of the day, it is more common for a parental abduction or a death caused by a family or somebody they know, as opposed to somebody they don't. But this is a clear case of where it is possible, and it is still possible, that it is somebody that they know, because they know that community is a tight-knit community. The person is similar to the Delphi murders, somebody literally hiding in plain sight. Literally hiding in plain sight. Does this mean this little boy is doing well? Does it mean something else more nefarious happened? You know, who knows? Mom thinks that he's still alive. She feels in her heart and in her soul that he is still out there and alive. So we're going to keep that positive vibe that he's out there and needs to be found. J.D. Huff, the police chief out there, nice guy. He's a total, not a douchebag like this Savannah police chief. Wants help, you know, asking the public for help. No stone being left unturned. You know, not trying to run YouTubers out of town because they're poking their nose where they don't belong. You know, I met the police chief, shook his hand. Yeah, Bullhorn Betty did that. I met the police chief and shook his hand. And I told him what I was there for. You know, I was there to collect, you know, records on the people, right? It's part of the process. I'm not willing to put those records up, because at the end of the day, they're probably already out there. But they have no consequence to what this case is about. There's no consequence. For example, there's no history of abuse here. There's no 18 million calls to this house because there's no peace here. We don't have these issues that we have in Quinton Monkey Simon's case, right? We don't have these issues. We have those in that case. But this mom is devastated. She's wanting answers for her son, which he's at that weird age where, you know, when he was young, when he was abducted, he was much younger. But we know boys grow rapidly from, you know, the age of 5 to 7. They grow pretty. He could be looking a lot different. His face will never change. If you look at a picture of me, a young kid, and me now, my face is, you know, it really hasn't changed that much. I got a little rounder, you know, a little more wrinkly, you know, a little more gray, you know, but for the most part, if you saw a child photo of me and looked at my face today, you would know that was a child photo of me. Now, on the other end of it, the child photo of my father, in my opinion, looks absolutely nothing like my father. I think they gave him the wrong photo. I have to be honest. But there are people like that. So at the end of the day, you know, this is not a happy case. This is a sad case of a missing child, Michael Monkey Vaughn. Let me just pull a better photo of him up so you guys can see him. So if you guys see anything related to him, please, guys, you know, please call it in. If you live in the Fruitland, Idaho, or something weird happened, like there, and this is what I was talking about, like when you go to the splash pad, there's kind of like these paths. They're concrete paths or sidewalk type paths. One goes straight, which we'll discuss, but it goes almost to a I can't remember the name of it. It's like it's like not a reservoir, but it starts with an I can't remember, but it's back there, and it's collects the water and stuff that runs off from the community and everything like that. It was bone dry when we went there, but the straight path leads to this area that is a great place to hide someone or something. We've heard that was thoroughly searched, that area was absolutely thoroughly searched. Then right there, you have two paths that almost go. So you got the path that comes from the parking lot that goes down and around, and it goes to that that empty lot that collects the stormwater and whatnot, you know, the rise of the water and whatnot. And then, but right past the actual splash pad, you know, where the water comes out, there are two concrete paths that go in opposite directions. So it's almost like a crossroad where you go straight and back, or, you know, sideways. So north to south and east to west. Well, these other ones, the one path goes right back into the community through two homes and into a road. But the last one that goes to the right, you go to the right and you go under, like the road is a very, very busy road outside of their community. I can't remember the name of the road out there. I'm sure we've got it when we put the banner up. That's the road that's very, very busy. Well, on this walk path, it literally goes under the road. It's got a big thing that you can walk through and everything, and it echoes and everything. But what the crazy part about it is it goes under this overpass and into this dirt lot. And the dirt lot is freaking eerie as hell. It's like a person could literally be sitting up there waiting for somebody to come through there and take them off. So if somebody was having a hard time getting in the community, you go, I'll be right there. Just go take a left there and sit in that lot. I'll be right there. And you walk through this thing, you go under the road, and you go out to this empty dirt lot that's very accessible from the road. You pick up whatever you're picking up, and you get on your day. Yeah. It was creepy. It gave me an odd feeling. It really did. So here's Michael Monkey Vaughn. If you guys are not familiar with who he is, there he is right there. See, I'm going to pull this up, make it a bigger one. There he is right there. Beautiful boy. He's been missing since July 27th, 2021. So he's already made it through his first year of being missing. And we just want to take the time. We have larger than normal membership and subscribers here. So I wanted to take this time while we have a good group of people out here to discuss this case. Because again, this is the case. This is the difference between one family that really is seeking answers and trying to find. And trust me, I guarantee that if anybody that she knows did this to her son, she don't care. She will want them to pay. Okay. So I know there's a lot of people still speculating that Tyler may have had a hand in it because he's nervous. He's scared. I wanted to tell you guys about this story. Many of you guys know that Stephanie Sheffield, let me go over here and pull her photo. There we go. Stephanie Sheffield. Here it is, right here. This was a girl from my county that went missing. And we got the crew together and went out and searched for her. Searched train tracks, searched everything. She was a local bartender. I knew her from back in my days from, doing my rounds from the shitty bars in this town when I was out drinking and partying, doing the stuff I shouldn't have been doing. All right. So I knew her, not personally, but I knew who she was, and I've seen her before, and she has served me cocktails in the past. So I knew this lady. And she lived a rough lifestyle. She was definitely a party girl. She was from, I think, Iowa or Idaho. She lived a very quiet life. She was one of those that were probably protected a little too much, that once she got a little bit of freedom, went a little overboard. She had children that she should be taking care of, but instead she was renting a room out from another person that was just like her. But he's a nice guy. Just because you're on drugs doesn't make you a horrible person. So drugs do some things differently to other people. For them and their families, it made both her roommate as well as her not really take too good care of their kids. It didn't make them bad people. Didn't mean they didn't love their children. It just mean that they were inequipped to take care of them. Well, her roommate, he seemed like he had at one time a good head on his shoulders. Was a smart guy, knew a lot, had a great vocabulary. He was missing some teeth. You can tell he was on a motorcycle. He was living the rough lifestyle, the drug addicted lifestyle. And, it's one of those things where a bunch of drug addicts rent a house, right? So they don't have to pay a whole lot of money to have a roof over their head. They all get along and they all use together. That was the kind of situation that was here. So as we all started coming in, and as the news and the YouTubers started coming in and questioning the family, and wanting to get their story, wanting to get this aired, wanting to get their statement and things of that nature, the roommate started acting really, really weird. Like he wanted to start cutting off people, like literally going up to channel 8 and channel 10 and saying, "I'm sorry, the girls have had enough," literally ripping them off the cameras. Basically, it looked highly unusual. When I first met him and he was kind of chill and talking to us he gave no red flags. He was absolutely believable. But you know what it was? His nerves. It was his nerves. He was so nervous that people were going to think it was him because they knew he was using drugs. They saw the way he looked. He's a big burly biker. And you started seeing the change in his personality, literally right before your eyes, so much so that I literally called our sheriff and said, "This guy's not acting right. He's pulling people," and he almost wrecked his bike leaving. He was so nervous. Look, it was her drug dealer. It was her drug dealer. She had an OD in his house. He abused her corpse while she was dying, which was despicable, and then threw her away like garbage, and then went out with his girlfriend the next day and celebrated her birthday. It was the most sick, twisted thing. It wasn't the roommate. So why was the roommate giving off all of these horrible vibes? Why? Because he was nervous. He was so scared he was going to be accused of the crime that he actually started making himself look guilty and started throwing up red flags. He had nothing to do with it. He loved his roommate. She was one of his best friends. They partied together, but they were still tight-knit unit. They were family to each other. So the reason why I'm telling you this story is because a lot of people are stating that Tyler may have had something to do with it. I have to be honest with you. I didn't get an opportunity to meet with him or speak with him on the record or off the record. I didn't get a vibe from him one way or the other. But the reason why is Brandi in here? Oh, nice to see you, Brandi. Nice to see you. But what I can say is that just because he looks guilty, it could be his nerves. It could absolutely 100% be his nerves. And people are taking a man that is absolutely broken because his son disappeared under his watch. And because he's shaking every time he talks about it, they think he's guilty. I think that's unfair. That is not how we decide who's guilty or who's not guilty. Because let me tell you, Stephanie Shenifield's roommate, based upon that, was guilty as hell. Right? If we were just going by the nerves and by the weird behavior and things of that nature, her roommate would have been accused of doing this. So I actually watched this, and I always say things happen for a reason. And this situation happened a few months before I went out to Michael Monkey Vaughn's case. A few months. And I know that I had that experience because I had to have that experience. And so now I can apply that experience to other cases. This is the problem I have with Michael Monkey Vaughn and the stuff that's going around about this family. And that's simple. There's no history of abuse in this household. None. There's not one neighbor that can say that they've ever seen that child walking alone, except on a few occasions when he got out of the house. And again, 5-year-old boy. Okay, not a 20-month-old kid. A 5-year-old boy. I have to be honest, at 5 years old, I was walking myself to school and back. So, he has gotten out in the past. But again, he's not near a busy road. He's surrounded by farmland. And apparently, the neighbors sent him home. What we have over in Savannah, Georgia, is a child that has been beaten regularly, abused regularly, had drug use by his mother regularly, had an entire dysfunctional unit regularly. There's court case after court case stemming from this household in Savannah, Georgia, talking about the abuses to these children and how nobody in the house is getting peace. We do not have that in Fruitland, Idaho. We don't have that at all. So, I know things have gotten away, and Brandi, I'm really sorry that, I'm just now bringing this story out. But to be honest with you, I'm glad it's coming out now because we have a lot more eyes on it. Prior to this, we didn't have as many eyes on this channel as we do right now. Like, we have almost 700 people in this chat as we speak with their eyes on this beautiful baby. And so, I just want people, as you're hearing some things from these people that are out there, I just want you guys to take into consideration that, they didn't take the time to go out here. They didn't take their time to do the work, talk to the neighbors and stuff like that. Maybe some of them did. I know Chris McDonough was also, I believe he came and I'm not sure if I'm right or wrong, Brandi, but I believe he came in like a week or so before, maybe 2 weeks before Dolly and I got into town. But either way, there are a few creators out there that are really trying to do the work necessary to get these victims' faces out there. But this is a beautiful baby boy. And he still needs answers. So if you guys see any child that resembles this, please reach out to the police department. And that's the Fruitland Police Department. The chief out there, nice guy, JD Huff, 208-642-6006. There's also have a designated email, and that is findmichael@fruitland.org. So please, if you guys have any information about this little boy, if you see anything, if you are in the Fruitland area, and even though white pilots are a dime a dozen, start jotting down every single license plate you can get and start sending them. It sounds, Freddie's like, oh, don't do that to JD. Don't do that to the police chief. But we need to find this pilot. We have to find this pilot. The pilot is, I believe, it could be a red herring, or it could be the needle in the haystack we need. There was another weird gentleman that was walking down the street. Believe it or not, there was a RSO within a few miles, probably closer to the elementary school, which scares the crap out of me, by the way. But an RSO out there, and we actually went to the guy's house and stuck a flyer on the outside of, on the poles on the outside of his house, because to be honest with you, he resembled a lot of that gentleman walking down the road that nobody has been able to identify. Was it him? I don't know. But if it was, he's looking at Michael's face as he walks out of his house. That's what I know. I don't know much, but I know he's looking at that boy's face. I would have knocked the door, but out there they have like a large, like they don't really have backyards. They have a lot of front yard and a little backyard. So the house was really set way back on the property, and then they had a gate that shut. As I was there, a person was coming out. I should have ran up to him. I should have and asked them about it, but my nerves got the best of me. I have to be honest with you. Even us, we have nerves, and our nerves do kind of play games with us sometimes. So that was the case here. I should have went up to him and asked him, but I didn't know if it was the guy. And I'm like, I want some more concrete information than some guy, at 17, messed around with a 15-year-old and got himself in this racket of the RSO type of situation, which does happen. I'm not playing it down or anything like that, but it does happen where it's something that stupid. And I hate to say it like that, but this whole RSO type thing should be for the bad of the bad, not an 18-year-old dating a 15-year-old or vice versa, that kind of nonsense. I don't think should rise to RSO. But again, I'm not the judge and juror of these cases, so that's just my personal opinion, not, a decision of legal fact. So either way, this is the case. I just want to let people know because I think it's super important. I've been getting messages from people of some of the comments that this family has to listen to because they have a missing boy. And I think it's purely disgusting that it's happening to this family. And I just want to set the record straight when I have an opportunity to. This is my first opportunity that I've had to kind of collect my thoughts and really try to get this case showcased on this channel. But, Michael Monkey Vaughn, he does still need our help. And blaming the family at this point is not helping this case. It's doing absolutely nothing. If I really thought blaming this entire family would help bring answers to this boy, damn well I'd be out in front of Brandi's house with a damn bullhorn. No offense, Brandi. No offense. But you're lucky. If I actually thought that you did some despicable things or your family did some despicable things, trust me, I would bring the shit show to Fruitland, Idaho. I didn't believe it. I wanted to find out more answers, and the only way I could get them is talking to Brandi and having her just kind of explain. And not only that, but her family, or not her family, but the community. That's who I really wanted to hear, because it's the community that knows all the secrets. Whether they want to talk about it or not, the community is what really knows the comings and goings of their community. Let's be honest. So being out there and talking to neighbors and hearing what neighbors had to say, and quite frankly, again, the day of this boy missing, what was the condition of these parents? Were they nervous, trying to make stuff up and hide this child and hide what happened? Or were they genuinely concerned and just complete at awe with what in the hell is going on in their life? Well, the neighbors definitely painted a good picture for me. And what I had been hearing online and through YouTube has not been what I found out being there in person. It sounds like this parents, Brandi, which I'm finding out is in our chat right now, has had to go through the most unthinkable, the loss of a child. And I shouldn't say loss. Lost as in is lost. This child, she came home. She left, the child was there. She came home. She's never seen the child since. Lost. And now they're having to deal with defending themselves, not only to the police, which, we just came back from Savannah, Georgia, and people are like, well, they had to defend. No, that family never even came out to defend themselves, right? We were able to finally provoke a response from them where they decided to give an interview with one news organization, and that was after 2 weeks of major work on our end to elicit a response like that. But this lady, Brandi Neal, has been out in the forefront since day one. Her family was absolutely, utterly devastated by the disappearance of this child. Oh, you're welcome, Lana. Thank you. And then you have people attacking this family as if they had a hand in this child. Well, explain to me, when you come up with allegations like that, explain to me how it happened. Right? That's one of the reasons why we go into this community, is to truly find out what happened. So if you're going to say the parents did it, or you're going to say even Tyler did it, how? That's what I'd like to know, because there's only a few places you can go. There's only a few places you can go. Unless you're gone forever, And what is he going to do? Leave the baby behind? There's just a lot of things that, it sounds good when it's coming out of your mouth, but when you actually put pen to paper and try to explain how it could have happened, it doesn't make sense. It falls apart. Yeah, we can go with statistics, but even statistics have anomalies in it. Stranger danger is not the highest statistical thing that could have happened, but it doesn't mean it didn't. So anyways, guys, just this for this particular thing, particular case rather, you keep this family in your prayers and look at this face, ingrain this face in your brain, because this child literally could be anywhere in this United States. This child could literally be walking down the road right now in your community. So take a look at this child. And again, if you see this child or a child that resembles this child, call it in. This child is still missing. He's got a family that absolutely loves him and wants him home. It is almost Christmas time. He's already missed one Christmas with his family. Let's try to bring him home for this Christmas. Why can't we get their faces out there? More milk carton TV specials. Believe it or not, that's a great thing, Kathy, that you're bringing up. That's what's so wonderful about this police chief out there. This police chief out there in Fruitland actually organized with truckers, semi-truckers, that travel all over this country to put his face on their rigs. He will be seen more than milk cartons, because milk cartons aren't really milk cartons anymore, right? They're plastic jugs that probably don't put faces on very well, right? So the idea that we can put him on a milk jug this day and age is not, it really just doesn't happen anymore. But he's going around the country on tractor trailers. If you guys are out there and you see a tractor trailer with his photo on it, send me a photo. Send me a photo. Yes, absolutely, Brandi. And I got to tell you, Brandi, you were terrified of meeting me. And you know what I'm saying? And I wasn't a bad person. Now, if you're guilty of sin of doing something to a victim, I would be terrified of meeting me. I have to be honest with you. I would be terrified of meeting me. But that wasn't the case. I didn't get that vibe. Even when stuff was coming out, I kind of played into it a little bit, but I'm like, man, this just doesn't feel right. It didn't feel right for me. I had a lot of questions related to this case, and I just didn't feel like conversating about a case with only one side of the story. And I didn't have the full photo, the full picture. I didn't play the tape through. I didn't get out there and look at the terrain. That in and of itself was, the terrain was pretty overwhelming. There was a lot of flat areas, but going back there to the Snake River and stuff like that, that was a little rough. Even looking at that though, there's still a lot of houses overlooking that could have seen something happening had that been the case. So just a lot of, things that don't make sense with this case, and definitely, in my opinion, don't point the finger at the parents. And I think that's why the law enforcement, naturally, we all look at the parents. We look at the people in and around the victim. We start from the victim and work our way out. And that's what we typically do. It's really the best way to do. And M&M Racing, we're talking about Quinton Simon as well as Michael Monkey Vaughn. They were both monkeys and nicknamed Monkey, and it's just showing you the differences between one family and another family. The differences of how families act and stuff like that. People that are truly trying to seek answers and people that aren't, that are trying to cover up the truth. But again, like I said, when I first met Brandi, I literally, I was ready to strip. I wanted to make sure she could see everything. She could see the bra. She could see, I didn't have any devices on me. I wasn't trying to set her up or anything like that. I already knew going in was going to be a little rough, but even with her feeling the way she felt, didn't know what to expect from me, she was still willing to meet with me. She was still willing to give me flyers. She was still willing to do. And the time that we came in was her and Tyler's 8-year anniversary to boot. So a lot of emotions were going on in and around the time that we came as well. And she was still able to take some time out, not to meet with us once, but to actually meet with us twice. And the first time we got the flyers, which we put up in and around the community, we even went as far as the elementary school and all back there, and just wanted to make sure that his face was really up on every major thorough road that came through that had a lot of people on. We wanted to throw his face up. If I could have put one on every single poll out there, I would have. We did one like every 3 polls just to conserve on some flyers and things like that, so we could put them in, expand the area. So I don't know. At mine, it says join right by the notification bell when you push it. Oh, there's a difference between Apple links and Android links. The Android seems to work a lot better on this platform than Apple link. You got to go through a bunch of different steps. But I also heard that you can get that by going down to membership, like the little dollar sign out there, down there near the comments. You can hit that and go into memberships. And I think you can get it that way as well. I could be wrong. I don't do memberships. I've only ordered memberships for Adventures with Purpose and Dolly Vision. And, and the whole, oh my gosh, the whole thing with Adventures with Purpose, like, wow. How do I feel about the whole Adventures with Purpose thing? I feel that it was very strategic when the other side of the family came out. It was right after Kylie Rodney case. It was right after they were getting national recognition for the work that they were doing. This was something that happened 30 years ago. It sounds like when both of them were very young. As a teenager myself, I mean, we did a lot of stupid shit when we were younger. Does it define who I am as an adult? I really don't think so. Do I want to take away from the victim? Of course not. I do not. But I just don't understand the whole 30-year thing, outside of just trying to, use it as a weapon, potentially. And the other flip side is maybe they got their feelings hurt, or, it was all rushing back to her when he was, becoming successful. But with all the money, $1 million here, $1 million there, set up a GoFundMe, set up this, set up that, it just seems, it seems too much for me. It really does. It really does. I think it's causing a lot of problems. What's going on with Utah? It sounds to me like this is something that the prosecution was not willing to take forward, and the family decided to push it themselves, taking on the legal obligation of proving their case to a court. Now, I could be wrong about that. I have not looked into this case very much, nor am I going to waste my time looking into this case. Is there a victim? Is there not a victim? I don't know what happened. It happened 30 years ago. It's not something for me that's going to, is something that I cover. 30 years old now. Granted, with Don Wells, if Don Wells is picked up for Utah, yeah, I'll cover that. With Jared, why am I playing? Because at the end of the day, Jared was a young boy. Don Wells was a young boy. Don Wells he admitted to doing what he did to a 5-year-old child, and still isn't being prosecuted. Why is Jared? It seems very strategic. It seems to cause brand damage. It seems to, just to try to destroy him, as opposed to because she feels wronged and wants vindication. It seems a lot more lying under the surface with the whole Adventures with Purpose thing. Do I know? It sounds like Jared has acknowledged that he did something stupid when he's a kid. Now, I don't know. I could be totally wrong, and it may piss a lot of people off with my analysis. I don't know. I'm not looking into it. I don't care. Okay? I don't care about that case. I just don't. People may be up in arms. Oh, how can you be a victim, right? And don't care about this? Because I got children. This is one, right? This child right here is missing. I don't care about a living, breathing victim that had 30 years to recover. Okay? That's not my monkey. It's not my circus. It's not my fight. I've got no dog in that fight. Let the other people do it. I'm not doing it, and nor will I cover it on this case. I think that what Adventures with Purpose has done has helped a lot of families. I think that the work that they do is critical and is necessary in this environment. Do I want to see them destroyed and go away? Absolutely not. And anybody that does is an idiot, is an absolute idiot. And please tell me one person in here so freaking perfect they never made a mistake as a kid. Because I mean, if you're looking at me to say I didn't do something stupid as a kid, you're wrong, right? When it comes to that kind of stuff, of course, we're all, and I never really got into the whole thing with Don Wells. The only reason why I wanted Don Wells to go to jail is because his daughter is missing. And that went directly to possibility as to why she disappeared. because the 5-year-old thing kind of resonated with that one, right? His stepsister was 5, she was 5. You know, he was young then, he didn't know the consequences. Well, he's older now and knows the consequences, and she's no longer here. Where did Summer Wells go? So there's a difference in there. So I don't want people beating me up and saying, well, why did you want Dawn and this, that, and the other? Because that went directly to a victim I'm covering. A child that's missing, and the person that's bringing these allegations were the age when these allegations happened, were the age this child disappeared. So there's a lot more there to it. It wasn't in there intended to destroy this man. This man had already destroyed himself when his daughter disappeared, and everything came out the way it did. Nobody believes that he had no hand in this. What is the purpose for Jared other than monetarily? And that's where I have my problem. You want vindication? Then get your vindication. Tell your story. Help another victim. But when you come there with $1 million price tag, I'm scratching my head saying, okay, is this really about because you have been affected all these years? Or are you seeing the success of this man and you can't stand it because you still hold deep grudges about what happened? People make mistakes. I agree with that. I don't know the ages of them. Maybe my position may change, but again, it has nothing to do with any victim I'm covering, and I'm staying the hell out of it. I hope Adventures with Purpose survive this. I hope that their sponsors stick by them, because loyalty goes both ways. And, you know, I preach integrity and loyalty. And so if I'm hoping, well, 9 and 17, okay. I mean, sounds stupid. You know, I don't know how I feel about that. It's a little young. And especially being a family member, he would have known. But again, we don't know the details. And we don't know to the extent of what happened. One's saying one thing, but when I read the statement from Jared, it sounds like Jared acknowledged that something happened, but he never acknowledged what. And either way it went, it could have probably done a lot of damage to this child. And may have. It may have changed her direction negatively, her life. But again, it's not something I'm getting involved in. Because at the end of the day, I believe in the purpose of Adventures with Purpose. I believe the work that they do stands for it on itself, and it had nothing to do with what this man did 30 years ago. What they're doing today has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with what he did 30 years ago. And for the team that jumped ship, you know, sometimes loyalty has the greatest reward. It has its greatest reward. So, you know, and that means a lot. What if I become a millionaire tomorrow and I need a team, a crew? Am I going to hire the crew that jumped ship? Or am I going to hire the crew that was loyal to their last employer? Let's think about that. I'm sorry. You know, loyalty means everything to me. Literally everything. If you're not loyal to me, kick rocks. Because it doesn't matter how many fights you get into, because even loyal people fight, they spat. It's what they do with that. I spat with people all the time. You don't see me bringing it to YouTube. Loyalty is key. So again, Michael Monkey Vaughn, guys, I just want to say thank you guys for all that came here and spent your time with me today to learn about this case. There's going to be more rolling out with Michael Monkey Vaughn. And again, I'm going to be dovetailing into the actions of this family and the actions of Quinton Simon's family. And so you guys can see the absolute differences, because I tell you what, criminals all act the same. Believe it or not, I don't know. You hear it all the time. I'm sure you hear it from attorneys. You hear it from lawyers. You hear it from judges, that they act the same. You don't understand that concept until you cover these cases face to face on the ground and see the exact actions from one case to another when the people are guilty, how they act. It's literally night and day. You can almost feel it. You just by the way they talk and hold themselves, it's like, they're showing the signs right there. They're showing the signs right there. So has spent her life in her own prison and is in a nursing home. Oh, that's sad. Yeah, that's sad. I was a victim. I was a victim myself. And I didn't know. Well, one of them, when I was a young kid, I knew the person that touched me, and but I didn't remember it until what happened when I was 20 years old. And what happened when I was 20 years old was not from anybody I knew. I ever laid eyes on, but very traumatic for me. And I hid myself in booze and drugs to hide that pain until I couldn't do it anymore. I just couldn't do it. I needed this stuff gone. I needed to purge it. And I didn't know the work that went into it. And I got to tell you, the work that went into it was grueling, literally, going back to the very first thing that ever hurt your little feelings. You have to literally purge it all and address it. It is one of the worst experiences you could ever go through. But when you walk through it and you get to the other side, it's the most liberating experience you can have. I can't explain it than that. It is what saved my life. I can tell you that the person you're seeing here on your screen was not the person that I was 20 years ago. I was a hot mess. Lots of trauma from childhood on up, lots of abuse. Almost lost my life multiple times. One by a knife, one by a gun. Not my gun, by the way, and one by a drug overdose. I was going, and this was only 6 months into the drugs. It was enough. 6 months, and I have lifelong effects from it. So it's a hard pill to swallow, but anybody that's out there can get through it, and you don't need to be a chain to yourself. You don't need to be chained to drugs. You don't need to be chained to alcohol. What you need to do is let it go. Forgiveness. That is what saved my life. Forgiveness. It wasn't for them. It was for me. And when you hear that, you have no idea what that means until you are almost dead. And you realize that harboring that pain, it's doing no good for anyone. So anyways, I hope some of these stories, help you in your life. Again, we want Michael Monkey Vaughn's face to be out there. We want to talk about him. We want to give this family some relief in the fact that, they shouldn't be going through this abuse of these people out here that are condemning this family, condemning them, saying they have something to do with it. I can tell you that Brandi, I felt her when I was there. And this is crushing to her. Crushing. She's missing her son. She's been trying to fight for him and his voice for over a year. And she has been beat up brutally and still standing strong. So God bless her. God bless Lana, which, again, she didn't know what she was dealing with when she was working with me. She was just trying to, for anybody that's willing to listen and hear their story and just put pieces together and make heads or tails of it. I mean, God bless her for fighting for this family. A lot of people think that Lana knew this family prior to. No, she didn't. She wanted answers just like other people, and saw something in this family and wanted to help them. And God bless her for it, because really, at the end of the day, there was only a few people in Brandi's corner fighting for her, and Lana was one of them. So again, God bless each and every one of you. I will start rolling out these videos. I'm so sorry it took me so long to get to them, because Michael's life matters. We want to find him home. We want to reunite him with his family. And here's this little boy's beautiful face yet again. So anybody that's seen this child, again, he's going to be much older and much taller now. We're talking about almost a year and a half since he disappeared. And we just want some answers. We want to, find him, bring him home safely, reunite him with his family. Christmas is right around the corner. There's always time for Christmas miracles. Everybody, please pray for Michael Monkey Vaughn. And also, let's not forget Quinton Simon, and pray for him that he can finally have and be put to rest and rest in peace. Because this whole landfill thing has my stomach in freaking knots. It's just disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting to think that Quinton Simon is laying out there in that landfill while his mom and grandmother are partying it up on the plantation. Just sick. So let's see what this says. Did you see the Nevada sheriff is searching a new missing 16-year-old girl? The sheriff said the girl is missing and her name is Trinity. I always, for the 16, the older kids, I always hold off on bringing them forward because, again, I'm a statistic type of person, and 90% of those, not to 95% of those are runaways. We definitely want to find them. But, we're here for victims and victims' families. If this is coming, this spirals into something a little more, then yeah, I'll probably jump on and start looking for it. But I want to make sure she's not a runaway and not just running away with her boyfriend. She is 16. I was 16 too, right? I go based upon my experiences, right? Oh, thank you, Natalie. Thank you. God bless each and every one of you. And again, thank you guys for coming here, learning about this case. Michael Monkey Vaughn, Fruitland, Idaho, has been missing since July 27th, 2021. And we need your help. We need to bring him home. Christmas is right around the corner. And what a Christmas present this would be to reunite him with his family. So please be on the lookout for him. And again, if you see a semi with his photo on it, take a picture and send it to Bullhornbetty at bullhornbetty@gmail.com. That's bullhornbetty@gmail.com. All right, guys. Well, it's off. I'm going to go see my BFF, and I'm going to take her out, and we're going to have a fabulous time for her 60th, her belated 60th birthday. I will let you guys know tomorrow or maybe later this evening how that went. But I'm dressed. I look nice. Got my hair did. Got my makeup on. I am refreshed and ready to mingle. Right? Single and ready to mingle, except it's with my BFF, so we ain't trying to do all that. But anyways, we'll see you guys either later this afternoon or tomorrow. God bless each and every one of you. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this video. Again, we are in search of Michael Monkey Vaughn and the differences between a guilty family and an innocent family and the way they handle their business. I hope you got some insight here. Have a good day. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something, because an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And we see what the pound of cure looks like.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.